Welcome back to another episode of Ugly Thirds. We're
Is that
still
what that
here.
means?
Yes,
it's our time to speak.
That's our
Gotcha. Very good. My intro too. Very good. Well, we haven't.
Well,
you
can't be on camera, so can anyone even hear you? You don't have a mic on.
I'm loud.
I have a mic on.
Okay.
So we're still here at the Northern Virginia Game Worn Jersey Expo. There's still so much more to see, so many more people to talk to. So we're going to do our best to make that work. Thank you for joining us on part 2. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right, we've been with this collection before, but I noticed this Wayne Gretzky just sitting here, and again, I'm touching a Wayne Gretzky. Good to see you again.
Absolutely, nice to see you.
So the International Year of the Disabled Person, like what a great patch. I wanted to get this on my coffee, but I realized that it wasn't accurate to the coffee jersey I have. But like, look how small the sleeve numbers are, the puffiness in this stitching. That you'd think like, oh, that's a fake, but no, this is a game worn Wayne Gretzky. And did he even bother with a fight strap? Clearly, not a lot of use out of that. But a Sandow, and like again, we talk about like it's Hall of Fame worthy stuff, and it's just out, and I can just touch it, and I am always blown away by that. Always.
I'm happy to have you.
All right, so looking at just cool things. First off, the Kansas City Scouts. Like we never talk about these guys. They were around for 2 years, came in the same year as the Capitals. They moved to Colorado to become the Colorado Rockies, and they're now the New Jersey Devils. And 2 years, just 2 years this existed, and to actually have one here, game worn, is just incredible. And look at the chain stitching on this. Look at the quality in that crest. It's shocking they only made it for that. Well, I think the arena roof collapsed. I think that was part of it. And then here, not a Dallas Stars jersey. This is a Minnesota North Stars jersey. The last 2 years of their existence, so this would have been the last year for 92-93, they wore this patch. But note the lack of Dallas, note the lack of shoulder patch with the state. This Shane Churla was worn in Minnesota for the end of their run. Already they were looking to get out. I think that was very obvious to eliminate the North from the branding. And then the one everyone's going to love, which you all know my thoughts on, authentic game-worn Mighty Ducks. It's Adam Oates, so little local flair. But look at the puffiness. This is obviously the one they used for the anniversary jersey. But we still have puff in the actual crest. Like, that's padded. I know there's a handful where that's existed, but I can't say I've actually seen it anywhere else. So what a cool piece to look through. Like this is, and then you get the authentic Bruins. Like I could do this literally all day. So we all talk about EPS or quality or fanatics. So obviously this is supposed to be in the center of the number. Look at the green in this too. Not only is it too high on here, it definitely does not stay within too high there. Like this was clearly put together by some equipment managers, probably underpaid and overworked. And that green is totally off center. But it's the real thing. This is the on ice product. This is not just Fanatics screwed up. It's the real deal. And the spacing on this too is absolutely terrible. So you talked to us last time, and this time you brought the collection that you mentioned to us, women's hockey, a big focus on women's hockey, and you're probably one of the first movers in this. So why don't you walk us through what you brought?
So obviously debuting it here because I haven't done it. This is a first. So apparently even Francis was telling me no one's ever done it. Acquiring at least, trying to keep it in the realm of the professionals, but then also keeping it with college as well. So obviously I hope that's on the camera. That's going to be there. We're going to highlight that. Awesome. So even going through getting some of the professional ones and then going for the college ones, obviously we had talked last time on how the college stuff, you just got to know who.
You got to know people.
Know somebody and stuff like that. Obviously, My Gray had pretty much had all of these. Acquired them mostly through trade, not through My Gray, although I did get that one. But for the most part, just trying to keep the people that are in the league right now, but new league.
Yes.
Representing the new league. So, but that's really kind of it right now.
And these are I noticed already Minnesota Whitecaps that is all stitched, and I immediately noticed the Championship Cup, which I should know, but I'm struggling.
Icelope.
What?
Icelope, I think it is, or
Okay.
Isolo, something like that.
This is all printed. I found that interesting, but I do like the sublimated fleur-de-lis in here.
That's the next big thing for NHL.
Well, even the designs that they went with this specific league, moving over to the whale, like that was just like a specialty that they wore for 2 games. But
and there's a whale in there.
So, but all this is even
it's printed but stitched.
Yep.
Though I do love that. That's something.
So, although I am biased, but they're the best one.
Well, I don't like nickname jerseys but it's the New York Riveters, or were they Metropolitan Riveters at that point?
They were, I think, Metropolitan at the
time. But that logo is phenomenal, and I love the history of using Rosie the Riveter. But what a good-looking jersey! Like that is gorgeous.
And that was the alternate. But even with the alternate, like I'm looking at all these other ones, I'm going, yeah.
How did your eye not go there? Like,
their regular ones were, even with Rosie on them, they stood out pretty well too. But I don't know, the red to me just sticks out a little bit more.
Yeah, the Sirens should have just picked that up and ran with that. They really should have.
I mean, going with the new look here, but still. But yeah, like I said, transition over to the college game has been a little tough as well, because you're specifically looking for, again, I'm trying to stick to people that at least played in a professional league overseas, anything to that nature. So pretty much, this I think is the only one that has not played. She's coaching collegiate now, but she didn't go professional. So, but the rest of them all went professional. She's still actively playing. She played in this league, and as did she.
So I noticed Nike, they had the things across on some of the USA jerseys. I noticed that's not what's here. That's different. I've never seen that before. And I enjoy that we even have the dimples on this, but this is printed. And this number font, I don't think I've ever seen one like that in because it's like, you wouldn't think it's the most legible, but how pretty is that? Like that's phenomenal.
And mind you, and this is just for the fun of it, this one didn't come with a nameplate. I was able to get the nameplate recreated and get it back to its original state of what it was. And even getting that font was even the,
a suggestion.
A suggestion. We just got this one in, because last time, remember, we had the white one.
Yes.
But this one has a nameplate on it.
And Penn State going with the contrasting. I mean, Penn State's always been very basic, very plain. That's always been their thing.
But a Penn State with a nameplate is very, very rare.
Oh, they don't like to give those away.
They don't like to give those away. Because remember, last time the white one didn't have the...
That's right.
So it's the same player, but this one had the nameplate.
Look at this. I want you to get close on this guy. I've never seen a collar do this. So that's the inside. The outside, dimples. Like it's speed holes all over again.
I mean, it's a fast game.
Well, obviously. And I do enjoy it's not exactly fake. There's actual things there, but it's all stitched. Yeah. And then that's printed. That's cool. Actually, it's very light, all things considered.
Super, super light.
Yeah.
Compared to, I would say, because that's the
Adidas is,
that's heavier compared to Nike. A lot. I think that would be the same probably. Yeah. It's the same material and stuff like that.
Like for proper internet, that's very light.
So.
And
that was the other one that I was bringing for you.
Yes. I stopped because I saw the PHF logo. Is that just an ad, or that's not the PHF All-Star game?
So that was the ECHL All-Star game that was in Norfolk a couple years ago.
Right.
Sydney Brott was one of the players that was selected to participate on the female side, because there was four of them were participated to play. She was playing on the destroyers, because remember I had the cruisers for you.
Right, and they did that fantastic job of naming the teams with the local.
This is the other one for you.
That's so cool.
So everything is stitched. They did a very good job.
Yes, they did.
A very, very good job.
Yes, they did.
So, but yeah, they added the PHF on there because obviously she's the PHF.
She's one of the ones from
that was represented. So
everyone needs a key off of Norfolk. That's how you run an all-star game.
I don't think there's been any better ones so far. But even looking at this, so even going back to the players, so she's an Olympian. She's currently playing with Ottawa. She's overseas winning things, and she's on Montreal. There's active players that are still in these leagues right now that we need to get this stuff out there. This is where we get this stuff out there right now.
Right.
Getting this up today was probably one of the biggest accomplishments, is getting it out there to people. So, hey, listen, it's a new Rome, and that's where we're at with it right now.
And there is not a lot of this stuff, one, out there, and two, not in this realm yet.
No.
You are a first mover. How about that?
That is it.
That's cool.
For sure.
Well, hey, thanks for talking with us again.
Absolutely. Always.
So, an insert, because we mentioned this off camera, and then we wanted to talk about it. Tell us what we're looking at.
So, you're looking at a husband and wife duo.
How many sports does that even exist? Like, come on, how cool is that?
I'm not 100% sure, but obviously their journey from the pros and stuff like that for the last few years, they're from Hungarian, and they're both playing professional still. Like I said, being able to get the husbands was great, and then being able to locate one of hers was even better.
Yeah, so Worcester Whalers, this is that Riveters jersey we looked at. And I do love that, I forgot about this, the nameplate's at the bottom, which the new league isn't doing.
No.
But it's because of the hair. And having announced women's college hockey, like the hair getting in the way is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Right, it's absolutely tough to get it, to see those nameplates and read who it is. So the PHF put them all at the bottom.
Yep.
I don't know why. I mean, they did it for what, Molson? Molson had an advertisement or something.
It's weird.
Silly.
They were doing, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But it's a good advertisement thing. But overall, I don't think anyone probably has a husband and wife duo out there right now.
How cool. That's a nice centerpiece to this too.
Yep. So figured you guys would love this.
Yeah, that's very cool. And again, anytime I see Worcester, I'm happy. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What would you call a junior team in Montreal? Why not the Montreal Junior?
Fruit.
Regina Pats, St. John's Raiders. Here's your barber pole. There's the real one for the Ottawa 67s.
Nice.
Butte. Quebec Ramparts. Look at that felt. Oh, look at those. I don't know if that's where or if that's how those are made, but I love it. We looked at, so you have
Worcester Sharks?
it's the team Crosby played for when he was a junior. Valdor? Correct me. Shame on me. But the fact that they have some random teeth.
Of course.
And then I don't know what's happening here. It's the C, I guess.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Right. And yeah, shame on me for not knowing. Rima Shakutami, easy. How about that for Swift Current Broncos? This is the rack of amazing minor league logos, as opposed to Lethbridge. Now they have some nice
for the Hurricanes. Sure.
I'm pretty sure it's for the airplane, like the Hurricane.
Oh my goodness! With the tornado on it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Some of the best jerseys with Oshawa. One I wanted to actually pull up later. Some AHL basic all-star stuff. Shawinigan Cataract. Your South Carolina Stingray. This, I don't even know the whole story behind this one.
We looked that up
Yes.
a few minutes ago. It was 1 year of the Southern Hockey League.
How great is
Love
that?
that. That's gorgeous.
That's all felt. There was one more that I saw that was just like, so Peoria Rivermen, how well? I guess they've gone through some things with their captains because, just strip your A right off. Just so many good things here. Again, more of the Prowlers, Greensboro Generals. How do you not get into these and just like, wow. I love it all. This is where the real fun is. It's some Worcester Sharks.
There we go.
And then let's finish off with the best one. So Rochester Americans have worn this off and on as a third jersey. I don't love how the Toyota just right on top of the stars. That's fine. Right on the back. You want to talk about being star-spangled. But my favorite thing are the sleeve numbers. In order to make them legible, you have these nice big shields.
And then you have that tiny number right
Tiny
there.
number. Well, you're gonna see it. But go Amerks, eh?
Right?
So I came over here because I saw this. The only time Pittsburgh hosted an All-Star game was 1990. And I genuinely don't know who's on it. But then you start looking, and this is a Salt Lake Golden Eagles jersey. And this stripe on the shoulders is completely unique. Never seen that done. I really love
stripe
the
almost.
yeah, right, and then it continues, and you really couldn't tell, but it continues along the side.
Oh, nice. It does.
The bottom, the hemline stripe is almost like a, I served in Vietnam, like that. That's almost like the ribbon, metal ribbon for that. Like that's, I love the tooth serif on this 5. You don't see that anymore.
This is really well preserved, though.
Yeah, it's a great jersey.
Please.
And again, like Salt Lake City. You want to talk about Utah hockey? There's the start of you want the throwback. You want a Winter Classic out there. That's what you got to do. Then I noticed this, which this gets better. So Calgary Cowboys of the World Hockey Association. Every time I see the World Hockey Association, I go nuts. But this is very similar to the Calgary City flag, is where that comes from. But you notice on the numbers, they have a white outline, even though they totally don't need it.
So they do.
And look at the nameplate and how that's done. Oh my goodness.
That looks like most rugs.
Yeah.
In the 70s, to be honest with you. 70s and 80s.
Right?
That's probably Butch Deadmarsh.
It could be. This is a proper Masca. And then as I was looking at that one, you have
Cincinnati Stingers.
Cincinnati Stingers, which Mark Messier played on. And then the only thing that is stitched is the nameplate. B. Baltimore. I don't know who that is.
We're going to go to Hockey DB in a second to figure that one out.
And clearly, this jersey was too big on him because there is a button sewn in. Or maybe that was meant to tie down a fight strap. I don't know. But I've certainly never seen anyone want to make a pucker like that.
It's the tag on there. Yeah. Nice. If you're looking for.
Yeah, you want to know more?
Excellent.
Unbelievably cool. Baltimore Clip is what, AHL at this point? Was it American Hockey League?
I believe so, but I don't have too much knowledge on this jersey.
Okay.
It does. Be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay. We might have to come back and look at it. But you can see the sleeve numbers in the stripes. Love the name on it, and then what a beautiful jersey. Well, that's quite the tail. Oh, that might just be that the stitching is gone, and it's quite the tail on it, but it was hemmed up at some point. What a cool piece. Thank you.
The top stripe, it actually is pretty close up to the neck collar.
Yeah, it's touching it.
It is. So there's a lot of them that you see, especially retails, other reproductions. They normally have them a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So it was certainly, I've been on the lookout for this style for a while, and I actually have the reverse retro that also goes with that as well. But to me, I like that one a lot because my first, a lot of us here in the hobby got into collecting through something else. So hockey cards to me was my gateway into collecting. So my first box of hockey cards ever was a 1991-92 Parker's.
Oh, that's a good set.
So this was like the jersey that I guess the photographer for that set, they went to a game or two of a Turn Back the Clock. So a lot of players like Vladimir Konstantinov and Nick Lidstrom rookie card actually has this style in there. And
that's
to me,
cool.
I was always excited for that, and I wanted to find it. And just happened to be a collector recently who was trying to move on from their collection and became available. And it was just something unique to find.
Phenomenal. Look at all the loose threads here too. Like you think like the real thing is going to be the perfect quality. Like everyone complains about the retail ones now, but this is why I came over here initially. Could you tell us about this Red Wing sweater?
I appreciate it. Yeah, and it actually interesting down in the Washington D.C. area. And it only occurred to me when people were coming today and talking about it. Max McNabb had a very short NHL career. And then he had some injuries and it kind of took him out of the game. He played in minor leagues. And he got into more of a builder type of role. So he had time, I want to say, I forget if it was either the 70s or the 80s as a general manager. He was general manager for the Capitals. He was general manager for the Devils under Lou. And this was actually an interesting thing. As you can see, jerseys from this era, a lot of them got recycled, got thrown away. I mean, there was not that concept of saving things. So it actually was the McNabb family that held on to it. And they actually, it was about, I think it was last year, they decided to kind of part ways with the collection and maybe get some funds. And one of the big auction houses in our industry had some items, and this was one of the key pieces. And to me, to see the wear on this, overall condition is decent. Obviously, some bleeding of the crest.
Right.
But I personally enjoy when we talk about wears of jerseys these days. Even back then, the wear on the sleeves, the repairs that are already, a wool repair,
Right.
is pretty neat to see. And other than maybe going to a Hockey Hall of Fame or other people's collections, you just don't see it often.
Absolutely not. And as I said earlier, I love that it's the original before they had the red sleeves. No one really thinks about this era. It's never brought back. Could we see the back? I didn't even think before.
Yeah, no worries.
The number stitching and how that's done has changed a lot. Oh, that's unique. Okay. So it's
really good quality.
That's not a zigzag. That's just straight 2 lines of straight stitching. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But I guess when you're dealing with felt, that's wool felt, I would assume, on wool. Wow. That's cool.
It's been interesting. And you're trying to, the hobby these days is about photo matching, building the story. It's really difficult, even just to find for someone that had a short NHL career, getting the records of, well, did he play? What was his number? And he had a number change. So you can start pinpointing. This was actually from the 1949-50 season, so they won the Stanley Cup. We're coming on 75 years this year.
Wow.
And it's just something I was so fortunate and lucky to have the opportunity to take this, from the family. And like I said, it's one of my centerpiece items, and just happy to have it.
That's phenomenal. Absolutely awesome. Thank you for talking with us. This is tremendous.
You're welcome. All right, thanks for stopping by. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
If you could kind of tell us the transition here from way back at the 10-year, but maybe why they jumped from 20 to 25 and then 35 to 40. Was there any rhyme or reason behind that?
So the 10 patch was the first time they ever had a patch on the jerseys, and for a long time those, and even still today, they're the most rare, the hardest to find, the ones people really like. And then they did the 20th patch. The 25th patch was kind of a last minute thing. They added them for a game January 1st, so middle of the year, and I guess they hadn't cleared it with the league. So after a couple games of wearing it, the league said, you're not allowed to do this, and they had to take them off. So every other black jersey from 98-99 will have the patch taken off. This Bondra just happened to go out the back door before they were forced to take the patches off. So it was worn, I think, only one game with the patch plus one game before the patch was added. Because then the rest of that season, the black jersey he wore had the patch removed. They didn't have a 30th patch. Why, I don't know. That would have been the 03-04 season. They just didn't put a 30th patch on. And then when it came to 35, they just did it for a one game thing. It was they sold them. There's an auction during the game, and they sold them after the game. So it was just that one game that they were worn with that patch. And then they got to 40, and they wore the 40th patch the entire season, similar to 50. But why they started doing 25 and then didn't do 30, I don't know.
What a cool approach though. Very, very niche for your collection.
It's a very cool collection.
Yeah, I mean, I have jerseys with other patches, Winter Classic patch, Katrina patch, Garth Brooks, all the other patches they've worn. I just brought these because they're wearing the 50th this year. And
that makes sense.
Nice display. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Yep. There are some really nice pieces in here. I always love seeing the World Hockey Association. So I was going to say Toronto Toros, but it does not have the Toro on it. So usually there's a word mark here. So this is the Birmingham Bulls, and on the back you can see. Look at. I'll come to you a bit. That it's just heat pressed, and it's thick heat pressed. They didn't even do good quality with that. Brutal. But that's the World Hockey Association. Peter Taglianetti. And look at the damage here that they had to stitch that sucker back together. You want to talk about an organization too cheap to buy a second jersey?
Could they afford it at that time? Did they declare bankruptcy at some point?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of hidden ones in there, but they were still riding high.
At Mellon Arena?
Yeah, well, it's a little after that, but there's a reason they got to that point, right? This is what brought me back here. The Syracuse Stars played from, I want to say 1930 to 1940, and won a Calder Cup. And what really drew me in, those numbers, like to put
looks like
that
my
together,
handwriting.
Basically, okay, a lot of that the felt has rolled. But that still probably wasn't that much bigger than that.
No.
And to have them on the shoulders like that, and even then, is that italics or am I just seeing things? It's just over time.
It's hard to tell.
On some other cool stuff where how often do you see the plate of spaghetti jerseys with the shoulders, which I didn't know they were stitched on. I always thought these were printed. They are on the replicas.
Nice.
And then I'll finish off with something extremely fun. It's an Ulf Samuelson.
Ulf. Nice.
Who doesn't love Ulfie? Actually, I lied. There's one more that I want to talk about here because I've talked about this so many times for the real thing. So the Stadium Series, the highlighter jerseys, 2019, and the stitching on this is also completely unique, where you have the 3 parallel lines and then the outside stitching, which of course you don't get on the name because it's too small. But they did it on the sleeve numbers as well. Like, what attention to detail, and the crest, same thing. That's not your standard twill. What is that? I mean, that's like a canvas. That's not your standard shiny twill. Nor is it like that on the replica.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. Wow.
But you wouldn't be able to know that unless you're holding it.
Not unless you're holding it. No, I saw this at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and I did not. I saw the back. Didn't know that. How cool is that?
What a run. Like, just the amount of money that's in that room right now.
Oh, my God. What the history. Having done a little bit of museum work, that the coolest thing of working in a museum is being able to touch things no one else is allowed to touch.
Yeah.
And for it's a Gretzky, it's an Ovechkin, it's a Lemieux, and I'm just, it's fine. Like, I am never going to stop being giddy about that idea that I can just, it's fine, it's whatever. It's so cool, and there's so much history here, and there's so much to talk. And these guys are all phenomenal. Talk to them, so many stories, so many interesting people. It's really a great experience.
And you're like, oh, tell me about that jersey, and they just hand it to you.
Yeah,
Here.
And I'll tell you all about it, where they got it, who they got it from.
Just laying out here from 1981. Just
no big deal.
all over it. Fine.
Yeah. We're just going behind the scenes and looking at numbers and things, and just picking stuff up and unfolding it. No big deal. If you ever get the chance to come to a Game Worn Jersey Expo, highly recommend. And the one here in Northern Virginia, every year, it's the biggest one on the East Coast, at least. Come see it. It's a good time.
Sure.
And most of the stuff's organized through Facebook. So if you search Game Worn Jersey, you'll find it. You'll find stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. I love being here.
Another good year.
Yeah. So he's Shrems. I'm John. Phil.
Can you hit a button where the camera flips around? Nope.
Not like that. Okay. Not like that.
So do you want me to take it?
Just
okay.
And then watch it not rotate because oh god. But this is exactly on par for us. Okay.
Stop moving, or is that the thing?
You can't yell at me now.
We can still yell at you. That's the thing. Go ahead. Oh yeah.
Make it hold it.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications of posted videos and come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
Wait, does it do this? Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm motion sickness, so I'm gonna hit